I mean, originally I'm from DC, but I moved here to Houston in '93, and then I've been, and then I jumped back and forth. Like I moved back to DC in '97, and in the DMV in '96, and moved back here in '97. So kind of, but yeah, we can go, we can craft through all that. But I'm definitely H Town, man.
Yeah, I got a couple buddies out in the DMV, bro, and honestly, unless you're from the DMV, you don't know what the DMV is.
Yeah, exactly. Like all they know, I mean, only people who know right now about the DMV is Wale.
Right.
But
okay. Well, I guess I could start off the interview, man. So what made you do the transition from DC to Houston?
Well, actually, I was a youngin' at the time. I was like 14 years old, and I was kind of cutting up, whatever, and staying out for a day or two at a time, and my mom wasn't having it, so she sent me down south to Pops, what a lot of people up north do when they have family down south. Their kids fucking up, they send them down south. So that's what she did with me. She sent me down south to live with my father, and that's what initially brought me to Houston. And she felt that it was time for me to get to know my father, and I'm glad I made that move.
Okay. So, are you at all like, do you have your ears up in the DMV, like with the hip hop scene up there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So what's the big difference between the Houston scene and the DMV scene? I mean, aside from the blatant obvious, like I'm talking lyrical content, the way artists do their stuff. Like, what is a lot of behind the scenes major differences that you see between DMV artists and Houston artists or Texas artists?
Gotcha. Okay. First of all, the DMV scene and the Houston scene are obviously two totally different scenes. The DMV operates and basically deals with go-go music first. Any rapper who comes to the DMV to do any shows is almost a guarantee that they're going to have a go-go band or two open up for them, because go-go is the dominant music before rap. And then as far as hip-hop is concerned, I mean, you got, like I said, the biggest cat out of DMV right now is Wale, but, we got other underground cats. You got Napoleon the Legend. You got myself, Shang the Artist. You got cats like Mike Mountain. You got cats like Multiple Man. There's a lot of talented individuals in the DMV, and pretty much they don't really get a lot of shine, but they stay grinding on the underground.
Right.
And that's what I respect most about any artist who continue to maintain themselves as far as their artistry is concerned, and maintaining relevance.
Yeah, man, it's just going out there and grinding it out and making sure that you're doing everything that you can. I noticed a lot of things. Because I don't know too much about DC and the scene out there. I really don't. But I noticed a lot in the Houston scene. You get one of three things. You get the guys who go out there and grind the shows, but have no internet presence. You get the guys who go out there and have an internet presence like a motherfucker, but you never see them at no shows.
Yeah.
Or you get the guys that'll do a little bit of both, but don't really know how to promote on either one. They just go out there and do it, and that's a big issue. Like Texas is great for showing love. Like, they'll show you a lot of love, but if you know exactly what the hell you're doing, you can go so far. Because honestly, I think Texas is one of the best places to start out, because if you have some kind of game plan, you could gain a lot of traction in a short amount of time.
Absolutely, I agree. So, I mean, yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm in the H Town. I stay in Houston, Southwest Side. So, much love to the H. The Houston scene, from my observation of living here for well over 20 years, there seem to be layers to the game in H-Town. You got the super underground hip hop groups. You know, a lot of them they don't get any radio play at all. Oftentimes they're ignored to a certain degree. People listen to them, but they're not going to necessarily come out there and show support for these shows like that all the time. But you're going to have your supporters. But as far as if you don't have something, playing on the radio, it's going to be hard to get that kind of a crowd out to your shows. A lot of people, they get together and they have they cruise and they family and stuff like that, and they get everybody to come out and everybody hop on stage at once, and oftentimes shows are like that, especially a lot of the open mics and stuff like that.
Right.
There's a lot of artists basically performing for other artists, and which is fine because steel sharpens steel.
Yeah, and that's not even just Houston though, bro. That's pretty much everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. What I noticed out in Houston, man, is it's very it's a place to where you can pretty much be yourself and branch off as just being yourself, but you got to work really hard because you have to work
very hard.
Yeah, you
have to reach outside of Houston as well. Just like I feel that any artist in any major city or any city at all, if you want to maintain if you want to get some kind of a spark going with your movement, if you're really talented or if you really have something that you think people want to hear, what you do is you reach outside of your city. A lot of people don't really blow until they leave their city. Like, for instance, Bone Thugs and Harmony. Bone Thugs and Harmony didn't really blow like that until they came to Houston. And Houston showed them so much love and played Thuggish Ruggish Bone on the radio. 97.9 The Box played Thuggish Ruggish Bone on the radio. And they pretty much helped set off Bone Thugs and Harmony's career. So it's just a matter of maneuvering around. You have the internet. Back in the days, you had to really go out there and you had to grind city to city doing promotional tours. I've been on promotional tours, where you're not really making no money. You just traveling. You're going city to city and, hopefully building more of a fan base. Nowadays you can bang it out just as hard on the internet as you would on the streets and on the road. I think that you need a combination of both.
True, and see, that's something I'm hoping I can do for everybody going on the tour that we got going on.
Yeah.
And not only that, we're intertwining a lot of artists involved in this tour and involved in everything we do. So when I see, when I see people who are, who are willing to break bread, and see, that's also a big issue with people, man. It's really not just Houston. It's like a lot of artists you'll see, they don't really want to spend money to make money. I tell people all the time. You don't gotta, give me no money for me to respect you. I just want to see you, honestly expand. If you could do something better than fucking with me or fucking with so and so, you could do it better than do it. Instead of sitting there saying that you're acting like they're already too good enough to break a little bread, and then they wonder why they never really get put on or get shown love or even make any money back.
Yeah, a lot of those cats, man. A lot of times, man, a lot of those cats really don't be caked up like that, man. They just, and they always seems like they are, and a lot of those guys, even some of the bigger artists, man. A lot of these artists are not caked up like they want us to believe, So when you get some kind of flim flam about money and stuff like that, they may be giving you some kind of a game or whatever. Or I don't know what have you, or what you dealt with and stuff like that. But a lot of the times, man, them cats just don't want to just come out and say, look, fuck it, man. My motherfucking lights, you know what I'm saying? They got shut off, and, you know, I had to pay that shit. You know, I'm too embarrassed to tell you that, whatever. But, you know, so you never know what's going on. Or then you just got cats who just funny, man. They just funny with money like that. And, you know, a lot of those cats be looking to try to, I don't know, man, trying to run some game or something. But you got all kind of, you know, characters, man, that you're going to deal with in life, man. You just have to deal with them accordingly. If, you know, when people are wasting your time, man, you know, like me, I don't deal with people if I feel like wasting my time. But, you know.
So I got a question for you, man. You know, back to you and all that. So when you're out there networking, you know, what's the most difficult thing, you know, as an artist that you go through, you know, because you kind of got a mixture of both flavors with, you know, living down in Houston but being from the DMV. When it comes to networking, you know, what's the most difficult part of going out there and trying to expand your name and everything that you know, you represent when you're out there either grinding on the internet or, you know, out there beating the pavement?
The most difficult part.
Right.
The most difficult part to me, basically, would be the grinding to get your audience, to get yourself an audience. Right. It's, you know, especially when you're a solo artist and you're not dealing with management. You've been managing yourself for, you know, since 1989. So you pretty much, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You pretty much have to deal with things on your own. So you are on another level of how do you handle your business as far as the music is concerned. So.
Okay. So,
yeah, man. Yeah, go ahead.
When you go out there and you perform, you know, what's some of the better performances you've had, and I'm sure you've opened up for bigger artists, you know. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. So what's one of your best Texas shows? Like you opened up for whoever, and that was just a great show, and why?
I would have to say 2006. There was we would have something called the B-Boy Hoedown, which a lot of B-boys come out and they be breaking and shit like that, and we have different artists come out. I think that was my best performance. We had the legendary DJ Kool Herc came out, and I opened up for DJ Kool Herc, the legend. I met the man. He's a great man. And that was one of my best performances. I was, you know, throwing T-shirts in the crowd. It was a nice sized crowd, at least 200 people. It was a lot of love being shown that day, and it was one of my proudest moments as far as performing in Houston.
Yeah, one time for your mind. It's the ABRA. It's like that, yo. Spark the mic device like cannabis. The guard spit like banana clips. I damage kids, hold down my ground like inanimate objects. Hurricane Shang low through your projects with 2 pistolas. Shots go through your Corolla. Game over. Yo, I'm a strange soldier, can't remain sober. Explode like Mentos and soda. Brainwaves that crush boulders. I'm the hip-hop Jehovah, Lord Maitreya, rhyme sprayer. Yo, you think your half is nice, I send you to the afterlife. I clap you, I go both ways. Like a Aphrodite, I hack and slice. And cut through your lower abdomen. The blade runner stabbing men, I'm gifted with the padding pen. It's not happening, you think you gon' blow up your weight. You duck and shake, trying to clap your dome like I'm busting grapes. Yo, I connect arm, leg, and leg like the mighty Voltron. Add the head and turn the volts on. I don't need no label to carry me. Synapse through your spine like electroshock therapy. Yo, niggas know they ain't touching my flow. Sword on my back with 2 pistols. Launching heat-seeking missiles. I missed the hit, 2 bottles of Cristal. Your boy gun game is still official. You hear the click loud. I'm the shit pal. Big Shang never hit fouls. Strictly home runs. Niggas go dumb. Feel the bass from the African drum. Yeah, that's my man Bango. Never coming with the same old. Hit you with the lyrical flamethrower. Beats penetrate your eardrum. It goes numb. The music bangs slow. Took Gorilla Black's head. Took a pop shot at Mousy. And any other saying? That's how we do it, man. Yeah, let me tell you something. A lot of cats saying Big Shang, the best rapper alive. Me too, nigga.
So when you go up in the studio, you know, what's your formula for recording music? You know, a lot of people, I mean, almost everybody I know, they have to get the beat first, and then some artists, you know, they kind of write down a hook or they kind of write down a verse and then try to find a beat to fit that, or they kind of just mix and match. You know, so what's it take for Shane the artist to get up in the studio and make a track?
Well, first of all, when I get up in the studio, everything is already ready to go. The track is ready. I don't go in the studio and write and work on. Nah, I do that shit on my own time because time is money. So when I get in the studio, I'm ready to bang it out and, you know, save some money. You know what I'm saying? So so I definitely make sure that I'm ready. So, you know, I write my stuff, you know, in my car. I write my stuff in the crib, you know, by myself. When I'm in my own zone, you know, that's when I write. So, but yeah, you know, that's when I'm in my zone. So.
Okay. So, and you know, you're also an older cat. You know, you're an older artist. You're not one of these 16.
Yeah, 30-something. I'm in my you know, mid-30s, late 30s. Let's go ahead and put it out there. I'm 37.
Okay.
Yeah.
But believe it or not, I know a guy. I'm not gonna throw his name out there. He's gonna be on the tour. He tells everybody he's 28, but he's almost 40. And
oh wow! And he tells people that he's 28.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing though. Like, it's not because he's on some weirdo shit. It's just he doesn't want to be judged because he's older. Because a lot of people, you know, we're looking at older artists, you know, if not already on, and be like, man, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel, you know, that's kind of fucked up that he would have to do that. You know, me, I don't have to do that. It's like, nigga, if you think you can rhyme better than me, then show me what the fuck you got. If not, then you need to shut the fuck up. You know, we the fathers of this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all, and I understand. I feel where a lot of these new cats are coming from, and I'm not gonna. I listen to a lot of their music. Don't get me wrong, but we the big papa. The hip hop niggas from the 80s and the 90s, it wouldn't be no 2015 hip hop if it wasn't for these old school cats. And if you got the talent, nigga, ask this dude to you know, I guarantee you Method Man ain't gonna lie and tell people he's 28. He's not gonna have to do that because he'll outrhyme any of these niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel the same way. So you know, I don't feel that I have to lie about my age at all. Nigga, KRS-One is 50 years old, and I want to see any of these new niggas mess with him as far as lyrically. They can't.
Well, you know what's funny is that KRS-One is about 50, Dre's 50 or 51, and a lot of people don't know this, and they think I'm bullshitting, but Jay-Z's like a good couple years from being 60.
Yeah, man. These cats are older. I was around when these cats was, you know, making their name, man. You know, I remember these guys. These guys have been in the game since I was a kid. I was watching Jay-Z when he had the hot top fade and the gold rings and the gold teeth with Jazzo, you know, in the Hawaiian Sophie videos. You know what I'm saying? So Jay-Z used to open up for one of my favorite artists, Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah,
you know, Big Daddy Kane was a fly nigga, you know, kind of like myself. That's why I idolize the man. You know, I feel that his, you know, my style, I pretty much gravitate towards Kane's style as far as, you know, being smooth with shit, you know, and, you know, making songs for the ladies and stuff like that. I deal with that, you know what I'm saying? And I feel it's because of my brother growing up listening to my brother Big Daddy Kane. So Jay-Z used to open up for Big Daddy Kane, and while Kane would go in the back and change clothes because that's the type of nigga he was, he'd go back and change clothes and shit. You know, Jay-Z would perform for Big Daddy Kane and, you know, and keep the crowd warm. You know what I'm saying? Rocking the Big Daddy Kane leather jacket and shit. So, you know, and Jay-Z's been in the game for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know, you ever sit back and think like, look, you know, like on some hip hop shit, you know, like Kumo D, Busy B, Daddy Kane, KRS-One, like all these artists who are the pioneers. There is no real people before them. Like these are the motherfuckers who set ground. You know, the Run DMC, the LL Cool J's.
Yeah, these are the groundbreakers, man.
You know, like, you know, when they look at the game now, like you think it's like with having somebody like Jay-Z or like Wu-Tang. I had Wu-Tang in issue 4, and a lot of people don't know this. Before Eminem was Eminem, I mean, he's always been Eminem as far as his rap man. Before he was like the icon he is.
Yeah.
Before he dyed his hair and all that shit, when he was just literally just some trailer park white boy opening up for people, he opened up for Wu-Tang Clan. You know?
Absolutely. He did a lot of shows in New York. He was affiliated with the Sound Bombing, and you know, he was affiliated with Ruckus Records, and you know, he made a lot of dope material at that time. You know, he was making his rounds back then. He was affiliated with some cats out of Jersey. Forgot the cat's name, but you know, Eminem made a lot of rounds, you know, in the Sound Bombing, Def Jux, you know, era, that Ruckus era.
How do you think those pioneer artists feel though when you have artists like Jay-Z and Eminem and you know there's so many others, you know, and then 50 Cent was with Run DMC for a while, J Master J.
Yeah, J Master J.
You know, how do you think they feel? You know, seeing these guys like, because in a sense, you know, the Jay-Z's, the 50 Cents, the Eminems became bigger than Daddy Kane and KRS-One because their legacy is just so massive. Like, you know.
Well, not only that, but not only that, but the profitability of hip hop has begun to grow. More money was being invested in hip hop, and you know, so especially during the '90s, that's when hip hop really started to expand as far as more money being pumped into the business side of hip hop. You know, and it pretty much reached its peak in the '90s to where it is now. Now it's pretty much almost 90% dominated by corporate America. So, you know, which produces, I believe, somewhat of a watered down version of hip hop, which doesn't really, educate people or teach people anything, but it's just there just to make you feel good and make you want to dance or whatever the fuck. But you know, and I'm not hating on these young cats out here getting their money. I like some of their music, like I say, you know, but it is what it is.
Okay, let me ask you this, you know, because you are an older artist who, you know, was from the generation that was coming up. How do you feel about rappers like Young Thug?
Thugger.
Yeah, real shit though. Not Slim Thug. I'm talking Young Thug.
Young Thug. Okay. Oh man, Young Thug. I mean, I find. Okay, let me not. I'm not going to even touch on his choice of gear and you know his dispositions and poses and shit that he be getting into and all of that. I'm just going to judge the man strictly by his music. Okay. He's not that bad of a rapper, you know, and I don't know. I don't know if he does this on purpose, but it seems like he goes out of his way to make sure that, you don't really understand what the fuck he's saying. I mean, that's just me personally. You know, in during my era, you know, we, you know, spoke artistically, you know, and we, you know, that's just how we did our thing, you know, as far as musically. And I'm not, and I know that, I don't know, that I just feel that, you know, he has a pretty decent style, but there's no articulation. And a lot of these cats, they eventually they take some of this criticism and they prove people wrong, and then they become more articulate. Like a Waka Flocka, for instance.
Right.
He got so tired of old school cats saying, "Oh, you whack, you can't rhyme, you can't rhyme, you can't rhyme," and he went and did a 360, and now he's spitting some vicious bars, man. He took that shit to heart. That's when you know somebody got a true love for the art. Right. If you just in it just to make money, then why the fuck should we give a damn if you can rhyme or not? Or if you can't rhyme, it doesn't matter. You just here for a hook, you know, a hot hook that's gonna make people dance and not think, not use their mind, and you know, and then you're gonna be gone in like 15 minutes.
I mean,
you know, and then cats are just gonna come and you know they're gonna get their bread or whatever, and they're gonna roll out. It's just like a business to them.
I mean,
you know, they don't. Some cats don't have the actual love for the art form of hip hop. I come from an era where this is not just a business to us. This is a culture. This is a culture that we grew up in. You know, I dealt with hip hop before it became mainstream. Understand that?
Right. So if you were to say that hip hop is a culture, which I completely agree, don't you think that Young Thug's kind of breaking the code of ethics with the lipstick and the fingernails and the calling his homies hubby and bae?
I was trying to stay away from that, man, but yeah, absolutely, yeah, of course he's breaking the code, man. I mean, come on.
I mean, because not even just him, man. You remember Jerkin, you know what I'm saying, the skinny jeans with the ass hanging out, like, you know, like you don't have to sag your pants to be hip hop, you know, like that's not really what it's about. But you know, dressing like a female, you know, when you ain't no bitch, kind of makes me look like a bitch, you know what I'm saying? And then it just seems like it's cool now. It's just cool to look just like a fag. I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, man. I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, you know, there's influx of emasculated men,
right.
And you know, and I can't. You know, I didn't know I was going to be going here, but you know, and to a certain degree, you know, there's a lot of different reasons why this generation is like this. First of all, I feel that there's an agenda being pushed on us, and I'm not going to start going into these things, but you know, there's obviously an agenda being pushed on a straight male. I mean, let's face it, but. Yeah, I mean, you know, cats are going to do what they do. I can't, you know, stop or try to fight too hard a certain element, a certain population of this world that's been here for thousands of years. This practice has been you know, around for thousands of years. I don't think it's going anywhere. So I'm just going to just throw my hands up. But as far as it representing hip hop, nah, man, that's not what hip hop is about.
That's true.
I mean, you know, and that's just my opinion.
Okay.
You know, I know a lot of people are not going to like my opinion. I have opinions about a lot of shit that people I guarantee will not like. But you know.
And see, that's something I'm gonna start doing up on the blogs and the magazine, man. I'm gonna throw in a page or two about this shit, make a little section about it, because I personally don't like it. You know, because for me growing up, it's like it's cool to, like I said, you know, it's cool to be a little weird. It's cool to be out there. You know, because you had your ODBs, you had your Bizarre.
Yeah, man. Del the Homo sapien, Del the Funky Homo sapien was a little bit weird, you know? You know what I'm saying? He had the hoop nose ring and stuff like that, but he ain't wearing no fucking leggings with his, you know, ass hanging out and shit. You know what I'm saying? You knew who the fuck he was. You knew he was different, and you knew he came with his own style. You know, being Ice Cube cousin and all that. You know, he come from a gangster lineage, but yet he did his own thing, and he started his own movement. He started the hieroglyphics, and you know, Souls of Mischief and all these cats. You know, they were a little fucking weird, but they wasn't wearing no fucking leggings and shit like that, man. You know, sack showing their ass and just all types of funny style shit, man. They wasn't wearing no skirts, man, and no fucking dresses.
That's true.
Okay, you know what I'm saying?
So, okay, one of the last questions I got for you, man, is, you know, where can people listen to your music, and what projects do you have out right now that they can go either download or buy?
Word, okay. Well, you can definitely go to iTunes and search Shang the Artist, Complex Simplicities.
Okay.
And you search Complex Simplicities. I'm on iTunes. Also, I'm on Tidal as well as Slacker Radio. And a few other sites that I'm on as well. You can also go to my SoundCloud page as Shang the Artist, my SoundCloud. I have an Instagram, Shang the Artist, on Instagram. Follow me. I'll follow you. That's just how I do. I follow for follow. Okay. Also, I have two Facebook pages. I have a fan page and I have a regular page. My page, I go by my regular page. I go by my government name, Matreya Williams. Okay. So you search Matreya Williams on Facebook, and I'm always posting all types of shit that'll blow your mind on Facebook. And then I have my artist page, that's Shang the Artist, a Facebook page, so you can give me a follow on Facebook as well. I have my newest mixtape that I just dropped is called Complex Simplicities. Okay. And you know, it's
that's the one
probably
on
one
iTunes?
of my best. Yeah, go ahead.
And that's the one on iTunes?
Yeah. Well, I have 3 albums on iTunes.
Okay.
I have an album, my original album that I did in 1998. It's called the Shogun EP. And that was one of my first albums that I've ever recorded. I was 18 years old when I dropped that. You know, and I'm very proud of that because, you know, I've worked with some legendary artists in Houston hip hop, and I've been around some of the most influential people in hip hop while I was recording that album. You know, I was recording with my brother Rakesh Jacob. He had Afterlife Studio at the time. He had so many artists that was under him. Zero was under him. He put some music out for Zero. He put some Gorilla Mob. You know, I bumped into them cats. Trader Truth, Cliche. You know, a lot of underground hip hop Houston groups were with Rakesh Jacob at the time, with Afterlife Studios, including myself. I recorded my first album there, and that's some of my most memorable moments in, you know, as far as me being here in Houston.
Okay. So, one more question I got for you, man. Out of all the artists, dead and alive, and everybody that you've ever listened to, who do you deem the best rapper, period? Like, all time, doesn't matter who it is. It could be, it can be from anybody like Kendrick Lamar back to, you know what I'm saying, Kane, whoever it is. Who do you deem the best rapper? Why? And what kind of song would you want to do with them?
Good question. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and set that off like this. I got a dime bitch that live in Japan, black belt, suck dick, chop bricks with her hand. My nigga Sean P. Rest in peace to my brother Sean Price. He's one of the best cats to have ever touched the mic, man. Straight from the boot camp click. You know, I met this brother twice in Houston. Once in '97 when he came out. You know, they were promoting the Helter Skelter album at the time, Magnum Force, and you know, they came through the Sharpstown Mall. Devin the Dude was there. You know, Boot Camp Click was there. It was a lot of cats there. My brother Snap, local artist here in Houston, he was out there. I performed, and it was lovely, man. It was in Sharpstown Mall. It was the shit. And then he came back to Houston in 2006 when he dropped the Monkey Bars album, and I met him again, and we kind of chopped it up for a little bit, what have you, when they put on a dope ass show that night. So, my brother Sean Price, man, rest in peace. R.I.P.
And what kind of song would you do with him? Like, if you had a chance, you know, whether it be the paper was right, or he just blessed you with a verse, or however it may come to be. If you ever were to get the chance to work with him, what kind of track do you think you would have done with Mr. Sean Price?
Oh man, some hard body shit, man. Some straight up hard body head nodding shit. With some, I think me and P probably, you know, would go back and forth, man, ball for ball. I would have loved something like that, man. You know, because I feel that that's something that heads aren't really into showmanship with lyricism anymore. It's about making a hot song with a hook that's going to have everybody, you know, do whatever fucking dance is out at this moment in time. And, you know, it's not, you know, people don't perform lyrically anymore, especially the art of rhyming back and forth, outdoing each other lyrically.
Honestly, I partially disagree. I think there's a handful of artists who are new and are lyrical as assassins.
And that bring it. Oh yeah, most definitely. But as far as them being represented in the mainstream, like we were back in the '90s, these cats that you're talking about, like today, you know, because I'm definitely feeling some cats today. You know, I like Odd Future. I like fucking Joey Badass. I like Big Crit. You know, Pro Era. You know, I like Chelsea Reject. You know, I like these cats, but they're in a different time zone now. Those brothers those people aren't getting the type of notification or the type of publicity that Iggy Azalea is getting. But in the '90s, that was the hip hop cats getting that type of shine. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's definitely people today in this time and era that are keeping, you know, the true art form of hip hop going.
I mean,
but let's face it, they don't get as much. They don't get the publicity that they should. I don't even think Kendrick Lamar get the publicity that he should.
What do you think?
I believe that he should have won a Grammy. Well, of course he, you know. So yeah, man, they're not on the forefront like how he used to be.
What was that?
Yeah.
No, I said I think J. Cole should have got the album of the year, man. You know, he sold millions independently with like no features.
Exactly.
You know, and you know, honestly, I think artists like Tech Nine are able to be amazing lyricists and still have that limelight. You know, so.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even Tech Nine don't get the limelight that he should, but he's such an incredible grinder that he's made himself a millionaire just on his own, which I absolutely respect. And you know, and he don't have to fucking change up and do some to the club sipping champagne bullshit. You know, he can talk about whatever the fuck he want, and that's what I respect about that dude. So
right, you know, he goes through and he's worked. Shit, he did a song with Eminem on his last album, and you know he. But see, when he does songs with these big artists like the Busta Rhymes and Lil Wayne's and the Eminems, he don't make the song that we want to hear. He makes the song he wants to hear.
Yeah.
And see, if you listen to the Lil Wayne verses on Tech Nine song, not Lil Wayne songs that he has with Tech, but the Tech Nine songs that he's featured on, Lil Wayne kind of brings back that hot boy, that I'm a real rapper instead of that bullshit. And
okay, I mean, well, I can expect that from Wayne. I've always felt that Wayne had something. You know, it just seemed like his shit was just all over the place. You know, his subject matter was just so random at times. You know, but he's definitely have a creative force with him, and I feel that he's going to get better. He's an artist that constantly grows, I feel, and now that he's down with the Zulu Nation and stuff like that, maybe that's going to make him grow even more. Lyrically, he's going to understand, and that's what a lot of these younger cats, man, when they get a little bit older in the game, they begin to appreciate the essence of this shit, man.
They should,
like look at the KRS-One and Nelly battle.
Right.
At the end of the day, when cats got a little older and stuff like that, they had to understand and appreciate what came before them. You should pay homage to what becomes. If you put yourself in a certain art form, you should pay homage to the forefathers, the people who did it before you.
Right.
There should be no disrespect. And that's just my opinion. It shouldn't even be an opinion. It should be law. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop law.
You're right. And a big issue I see, it's kind of backwards. At least it would seem it's backwards to where see, I'm white, and so for me to be able to do what I do, is a blessing. And if you ever notice, if you ever take, because you've been in the magazine, if you ever read through the magazine, most of my clientele is black. I don't really cater to white boys like that. And but I do notice that the white rappers nowadays, man, they don't got no class. They don't have any class, and they have no chill. And what I mean by that is, I know a couple of them, man. You know what I'm saying? They've been to prison and shit like that. They got their stripes, but they feel that just because they done some time, that they can drop the N-bomb and they fucking music. And see, with me, like with me, like I say it, you know what I'm saying? I say to my friends, I tell people all the time, I'm not that guy that's going to sit here and lie to you and say that I don't slip up every now and then if I get excited or something like that. That happens, But to say it in your music is it's just, to me, it's just, there's no excuse.
Yeah.
I feel like if you can say something in conversation and the other person not be offended and just know that you genuinely mean to, to use that word in a way that doesn't offend somebody, then cool. But to put it in your music, man, I just don't feel that we should. But I don't even feel like we're close to being to where it's okay. But people think it's okay. I mean, if you're Mexican or if you're black, I think it's cool. I say, that's your shit, because Latinos came up with the black community with hip hop. You have your Cypress Hills, your SPMs. So to me, they get to carry that lineage. But I mean, what's your opinion, man, on these white boys dropping the N-bomb and they rap?
Well, my opinion is this: if you, as a white artist or as a white person who really love hip hop
Right.
and love rap, and you just you love it so much that you are enthralled into the culture, or what you think the culture is through the music. You know, if you feel that if you have like a need to use that word, you just feel that you need to free yourself and just say nigga. If you feel that you need to say that word, then I can't stop you from saying it. But what I always say is this: you never know who you can and who you cannot say it around. You might have some friends who are black who might be cool with it, and you might have some people who are not cool with it. So
Right.
you just have to always be careful when you're using that word and who you're using it around.
Right. Because a lot of these guys don't, like, everybody is pretty, everybody kind of knows that that's a no-no. But I don't think a lot of artists nowadays, like, I don't know if you're familiar with Stitches.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the dude.
I really like the rapper Stitches. I think he's insane. He's a white boy.
Yeah, that's a wild ass dude, man, with the fucking machine guns and shit tatted on his face.
And
I like that, that brick in your face. It's pretty wild.
And you know
what I'm saying? That's a wild ass dude, man.
And then he goes and does a song with a Compton Menace, and he uses dropping N-bombs left and right. And some people saying that he's breaking.
He feels that he has the past to do that.
But I mean, would you say that he does, or would you still? I mean, because me.
Maybe in his circle he does. In his circle, he does. I'm sure he's generating some funds. You know what I'm saying? Like he's hanging. These cats is fucking benefiting probably.
Right.
From hanging around him.
Right.
So yeah, he gonna drop some motherfucking N-bombs, man, around his people, around the people who he may have around him, his crew or whatever. Yeah, he's gonna use it, and he might do it in his music, and but just understand that you may run into some people who are not going to see things like that, and they're not going to appreciate that, and they're not going to want you to promote, you using that word at all.
Well,
I promote people do what the fuck they want to do, and they're going to do what they want to do. So, is this something that you should do as a white rapper to use the N-word? No, not really. But if you feel that you have the whatever to do that, I just say do it at your own risk, because there's going to be some people who's not going to be too happy with that. And then there's going to be some people that's cool with it.
See, for me, and this is kind of off subject, but I'm just having just a great conversation about hip hop with you. When it comes down to it, I think that when you end the whole shock value, when it comes down to it, it's like, to me, I'll tell you the only reason I don't do it in my raps, man. This is the only reason I don't do it. I got respect. And I got love for it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want anybody to ever think that I'm trying to take advantage of what I do, you know what I'm saying, or who I'm trying to be or shit like that, like to ever say that, yeah, he's cool, but, just because he puts you in a magazine or just because his video got so many plays or just, he thinks it's okay to go ahead and, call you whatever he wants to call you and he thinks it's cool. And I don't ever want to be that guy because I know so many of those.
Yeah, because it'll put you in the kind of situation like where cats going to be looking at you like, well, is he a little bit kind of racist? Is he a little bit not kind of racist? And, and you're going to have people discussing things and wondering about you and stuff like that, and it's going to make things awkward.
Right. You know, it's like I tell people all the time, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been through a lot of shit in my life, and and so for me, it's like hip hop is just, it's beautiful. So I try to do everything I can, which kind of goes back to the whole thing where I don't cater to white boys. I cater to money. But I always try
absolutely
to make sure,
as you should.
But I always. And some people think I'm talking out my ass, and so but think about it though. Look, because I ain't just saying it. You can go see yourself. I try to help the black man as much as I can because you know what? No matter what anybody says, I'm being allowed to do what I do in hip hop. So there's no reason why I can't help a black artist a little bit more than I would a white artist because I know what it's like to be a white artist and just how easy, honestly, it really is to do this shit being white. But and then you get a lot of these dope MCs that are black or Mexican. They kind of get overcasted because rap is kind of whitewashed right now. You know what I'm saying? Iggy Azalea, fucking like I'm Eminem all the way. I'm Eminem all the way. That to me, no matter what, he's dope. But I think Iggy's trash. I think a lot of these rappers are trash. I don't like them at all. I really fucking don't. So if I can do
well, yeah, Iggy Azalea is fucking. That's just some pop.
Right.
Garbage shit. I mean, let's just be
real. And think about it though. You remember MC Hammer?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. That's his Vanilla Ice. Iggy Azalea's T.I. Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, it's kind of that freestyle that she did on the Sway in the morning. Yeah, I mean, that was horrific. But I'm not going to even. And the one other thing about that chick in particular is her using of Kendrick Lamar's verse on at her fucking show, spitting Kendrick Lamar's verse like that was her shit, like she wrote those bars. I don't know, man. It's like that's not what we do in hip hop. She definitely needs a few lessons into what there need to be some laws in this hip hop. Yeah, I understand it's ran by the corporations, but we still have the power in hip hop, the original hip hop community, because that's the realism right there. I gotta stress that. That's the realism. People, it's like looking towards a holy land.
Wow.
You look towards the old school hip hop cats to know what's real hip hop, because that's the essence. That's the beginning of it. So, but yeah, this. I feel that it's definitely hip hop is being whitewashed. Yeah, of course. But this is the industry. That shouldn't deter you, black man, black woman, Hispanic man, Hispanic woman, whatever, from getting in the game.
Right.
And doing your thing without worrying about corporations and getting signed to major deals and all that. 9 times out of 10 you're gonna get fucking screwed anyway. Yeah. And you're gonna end up being broke, and and then your label's gonna drop you. Like your girl, fucking the Gucci, Fendi, Prada. I forgot her. Shang. She came, they put all this money behind her because of some YouTube video. And with the Gucci Prada, she dropped her album. She sell like 3,000 the first week. They lost a ton of money. Just putting money behind something just because it's popular. And that's what, and that's what killed them. And that's what killed that whole thing. I don't know if she's still doing music or not. If she really had a love for the music, that wouldn't stop her from doing music. We'll still be hearing shit from her.
See, that's funny, man. That you mentioned Krayshawn, because Krayshawn's one of those artists that was dropping M-bombs.
Yeah, well, and I particularly her sister as well, Be Nasty, and I see where she gets her, I guess, what she considers her stripes from. I believe she robbed a liquor store or some shit. I don't know.
She has mixed kids and she grew up in a black neighborhood. It's really what it boils down to. She has mixed kids and she grew up in a black neighborhood. It's like I notice that a lot with people.
Yeah.
And this is actually something I've never talked about, and I'd actually love to ask you about this if you're willing to talk about it. How do you feel about white artists saying the N-word when they have mixed children or they have a significant other that's black? Do you feel like they kind of get like they feel like they have a pass because their partner's black, or do you feel like it's still not okay?
Well, I mean, my personal opinion is, it still should be a bounds of respect. So,
right.
No, I don't agree. But like I said, people are going to do what they want to do. Now, it's going to make people are going to react in different ways. You're going to have some people that's cool with that. Yeah, man, that's cool. Use the nigger. I don't care. Use the nigger word. It's okay. And you're going to have some people who is not down with that. Me personally, if an artist used the word in front of me, will it make me squirm a little bit? A little bit. I wouldn't show it, but like I seen this white artist. He was dropping like he was doing this battle or whatever, and with these other cats, and he was dropping like these super fucking racist ass bars and shit, and and I'm just imagining myself battling this dude.
Right.
Would I would squirm a little bit, but would I like just haul off and attack him? I don't know. Me personally, I'm a peaceful man. I don't, unless somebody is in my space provoking me, or if I feel threatened, then that's a different story. Then I'm gonna have to turn up.
Right.
But it's just odd, man. It's going to be odd to a lot of individuals, and then it's going to be acceptable for a lot of individuals too. Just like the fucking wearing the skirts is going to be acceptable to a lot of individuals. This is what the game is coming to.